feeling you tell me that. You tell me to smile after you've already started, so
No.
I have this weird.
No.
I'm like looking away or something.
Hold the smile for like 30 seconds. You'll be fine. Because we don't know exactly how many seconds it takes to spool.
It's like one of those old timey cameras. Hold still.
Tweet, 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 tweet. Poof. The podcast done with flash powder.
That's right.
Okay. Hey, everybody. This is Chuck and Craig. We are just putting the final touches on the pre-show prep as we go forward and do our podcast, formerly known as Technorama.
Let me share it out. Let's see. Share.
Oh, that's a very good idea.
Share now public.
La, 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 la.
All right. So I'm going to try to remember the banners and all that good stuff.
That's your job now.
All right.
Technorama. Impersonate me. Nobody does my impersonation like me. Share public. And we have our viewer, John Miller Jr. Right on. Right on. And okay, do you want to put the pre-show banner away? I'm ready to roll.
Okay.
How about you?
Yeah, 1 second. Turn it off.
Let me check the gate on this thing. It was really crazy. Yeah,
Did you not lock it?
Yeah, you know, kids keep wandering in from the neighbor's yard.
Stupid kids.
Did you name the title of the show before or after we got that voicemail?
Oh, what did I make the... No. No, I did not. Did I put that in there? I think you did.
I did not put that show title in.
Maybe I did. I just don't remember calling it that. Okay.
Yeah, you must have, because that's what I called it on the live stream.
When I start the show notes, I try to put a title unless something comes up throughout the week. But usually I put the title in when I make the show notes start.
It was up there yesterday morning.
Okay. Well, then that's what I called it.
Alrighty.
I may have been listening to something and I heard, sorry, wrong number. So I was like,
the universe is
conspiring for us, not against us.
The stars are aligned tonight. Okay, let's get started. We are going to record our audio portion of this podcast, and you can watch how that's made. Thank you for watching. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, always happy to have you here. Be sure to shout out in the chat room. You're part of the show. You can be part of the show, like John Miller Jr. did with his comment. Where is it? Dink. Like that. A simple hello is all you need.
That's right.
Oh, I suspect he's contributed more to the show than that. So, I almost hit end broadcast. That would have been short. Wrong button.
I need do that.
The record button over here.
Use the keyboard shortcuts. Oh, that's right. It says, at the top it would say.
Okay. Recording in 3, 2, 1. Technorama episode 663. Sorry, wrong number. Let's do that again. Because my iPad is not working, and I went to click the button and it moved the volume.
It's like, and let's go.
I'm driving the sound effects in a different way tonight. So we're going to try that again.
Yeah, you got to say, okay, Google before each one. Oh, wait, cancel. That's right.
Recording in 3, 2, 1. Technorama episode 663. Sorry, wrong number. Hello and welcome to Technorama. This is the show that takes a lighthearted look at tech, science, sci-fi, and all things geek. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. It's great to have you here. If you are a returning guest, welcome back. We've got your chair. It's all grooved for your butt, just like you like it. So I'm Chuck Tomasi from sunny Phoenix, Arizona, and joining me as always is Craig Stepp. How are you, Craig?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing really good. I'm doing so good, I can't even stand it.
Do you have Monday off?
Why would I? No, why would I have Monday
off? Okay.
Off?
Well, I guess the marketing organization has Monday off. Sometimes that our company gives the developers off a day every quarter. Well, looks like Monday the marketing team is doing that. The problem is they tell you at the last minute. It's like we found out last Tuesday.
Oh, yeah. So you can't really plan anything.
Especially, well, that or I've already got commitments with like customers or analysts or.
Oh, well, yeah. You see, you can't really plan. You can't really plan ahead. Well,
exactly.
at least you got some time.
This one I actually did not. I did not have a problem. I had a problem remembering that it was off. It's like the landscaper guy says, "Hey, can I come by Monday morning?" I'm like, oh, I better check my work calendar and make sure I'm not recording something. Oh, I'm off Monday.
Yeah. Well, I got stuff going on tomorrow, and I get a message. Hey, by the way, the tree guy's coming at 11. I'm like, it would be nice to know ahead of time, but I will.
Right. I at least the landscaping guy texts at least 24 hours ahead of time. It was when he would just show up and I'm recording. Like,
oh yeah.
No. We're doing a conference here live. You have to go away. Come back tomorrow. Why don't you text first? So now he's gotten in the habit of that. So good on him. All right. We have some listener feedback. We have quite a bit of listener feedback in this show. So let me click that wonderful music. Everybody dance.
Letters. Oh, we get letters. Those letters. I love those letters. Let's find out what you got to say.
Oh boy.
Mailman. Mail today.
John says, "You have a tree guy? I only have a two guy."
Yeah. All tree have them. Right.
All right. Our question of the week last week was, what is a very old game that's 100% worth it to play now? I'm still laughing from John Miller Jr.'s I think it was him last week when he contributed and he said, "Pull my finger."
Oh, yeah. That's right.
If it wasn't him, well, credit to whoever said that. Let's take a look at what we've got in the Technorama social media vault for some answers to this question of the ages. Gary Lindros says, life is not a game, Gary.
It is.
Oh, you mean the game of life with the little cars and the pink and blue pegs that represent people.
If you make it to the end, you win. So that's life is kind of a game too, right?
That's when I learned about like mortgages and insurance payments. I'm like, this game is boring.
This game sucks.
What? We just had twins.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
That's right.
You're 8 years old going,
Yeah. So Mike Robeson said, Mousetrap, Dungeons and Dragons, Diablo 2, which we still play Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
And I believe Scott Tyler also said the same thing. Dungeons and Dragons, duh.
Right.
Well,
John Miller Jr. says, Mega Man series for NES, Mega Man X series, Secret of Mana, Super Metroid, and Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past for the Super Nintendo. I still play these games to this day.
Gary Lindros says, Galaga, Suro, and Uno. I've heard of two of those three. I don't know what Suro is. Tsuro.
Suro? I'm not sure about that one. Of course, I know Uno, but yeah. And so Steve London said, "Oh, Monkey." He's always got a see more. So let me see more. Monkey Island had it on Amiga. Some of the old Talonsoft high strategy games like Bull Run 1 and 2, Battle of Anthem. Not sure if he's got the spelling right, but okay.
I'm not sure if you're saying it right, so you both win.
Yeah, Battle of Shiloh, and they took weeks to play through.
Oh,
but when
you mean Antietam?
Antietam,
it sounds like Civil War, yeah, because you said Shiloh, so I'm figuring it might be Antietam.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Then they took weeks to play through, and when you had played for a while, the AI took hours to finish its moves. Calculating.
Jack Mangan also says Scorched Earth. I'm hoping that's a game and he just doesn't play like Scorched Earth.
It's one of those games where
yeah,
you had to line up your missile launcher.
I thought he was talking about what you do like when you're leaving behind nothing.
Yeah. Screw this place. Scorched Earth.
Right. I'm formatting the hard drive and going home.
That's right.
That's all we have for our social media question. At least that's all the ones I have. Do you have any
Yeah,
others that you found in there?
That's it for
Okay,
me.
we also have an email from Sweet Steve London. He said, found this morning in The Guardian. Apparently, a SpaceX rocket is going to crash on the moon on the 4th of May. May the 4th be with you. This article does not say where it's going to land on the moon, but one of the Swedish tabloids stated that the dark side of the moon was the calculated, quote, landing area.
Really? Okay.
He says, I'm guessing there's a risk for the Nazi moon bases on the dark side of the moon.
Yeah.
Now
Watch out,
who's got
fellas.
the conspiracy theories going?
That's right.
Somewhere there is a great story in all of this. This might just be what I need to get back to writing again.
I'm wondering if we can ever see a picture of it. I mean, I guess at some point.
How many
But-
how many satellites are in orbit of the moon right now?
Well, that's what I was wondering. I'm surprised we don't have one just running continuously. Why not?
Why? I mean, once you've mapped the moon, it doesn't change.
Does it?
No, not really.
It's about to. So yes, it does change.
They can get
I
a picture as
disagree.
it comes in for landing.
Yeah, I disagree, Chuck. It's about to change. That's
Yeah,
the
here's the impact site. There. Here's the before. Here's the after. There's a little white smudge on the surface.
well, it's SpaceX. I expect it to land upright.
We also had some voicemail come in this week. Wow, the voicemail line still works. At least
Yeah.
for now. We're going to talk about the whole Google G Suite thing in our Patreon show later. So if you're not a patron, you're missing out. But here's the first one.
Wait, what? Oh, sorry, this must have been the wrong number.
Well, I got the episode number right. 663. Wrong number.
Yeah. See? Sorry,
You
wrong
win.
number.
We did not coordinate that in any way, shape, or form. And then we
No.
got this,
I
which
was,
is...
I was just doing my Nostradamus impersonation.
Yeah.
I saw it coming.
And then we have, I guess this is an ad insertion?
Hello, Chuck and Craig. This is the artist formerly known as Chocolate Lightning, former stage name I needed to work. Wishing you and your audience positive vibes. By the way, this call is sponsored by the Shear Shaver 666, designed to make your smooth criminals even smoother. Use offer code There's So Much Blood to get a guaranteed 50% discount from the price and a possible 50% off your plums. Have a nice evening.
God, this reminds me of the people that used to
What?
call in on Slice of Sci-Fi years ago with ads and whatnot like that. They got their own, they became a personality. So keep it up, Mr. Super Shaver. Use the promo code. There's so much blood.
I think it's kind of funny. He's already got sponsors for his voicemails.
We've been doing this wrong the whole time.
I know, right? Yeah.
Oh, it's my wife. Doesn't she know what time podcast time is? Isn't she
Jack and-
watching live? She was
Was that-
watching the church broadcast live earlier today.
What is that, Jack and Diane?
No, that was Boston.
Oh, I couldn't hear very well. Okay.
I'm just taking my time. I'm just moving along. You'll
Yeah.
forget about me after I've been gone.
I love that
It's
song.
kind of like my default ringtone. Because there's the guitar, there's the acoustic version, and then there's the
Yeah.
rock version later.
Yeah.
Same
I
song.
love that song, man. That's awesome.
Okay, anyway, let's close out the listener feedback. Worst stall tactic ever.
Another letter from our listener Dave.
Rolling right on into history. All right, on this day in history for February 2nd, 2022. Wow, that makes it 2222. Amazing.
Oh, it sure does.
Amazing. Even if you're using the European date, it's still 2222. Should it be Ballerina Day because everybody's wearing a tutu? This is the 30. Oddly enough, it's the 33rd day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, and there are 332 days. Well, this is like a poker hand. You can play. You can play cribbage with this too. 15-2, 15-4, and a pair
Bingo.
makes- yeah. Anyway, it was on this date in 1653 that New Amsterdam, later rebranded as the city of New York. Lack of imagination there. It was incorporated.
Well, what's funny is it ended up being New York, New York.
And New York on Futurama.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Also on this day in 1709, Alexander Selkirk was rescued after being shipwrecked on a deserted island, inspiring Daniel Defoe's adventure book, Robinson Crusoe.
With Gilligan, the skipper, too.
Yeah.
It was on this date in 1887 that in Puxatawney, Pennsylvania. Gee, guess what happened in Puxatawney, Pennsylvania on February 2nd, 1887?
He
It was the first Groundhog Day ever observed. 1887, ladies and gentlemen. He woke up one day and said, "Holy crap, it's Groundhog Day. How appropriate. I'm going to get to work."
I better get back in my hole.
Everybody else said, "Holy crap, a talking groundhog."
That's right. Yeah. Oh, what's this sorcery? Okay, let's see. Oh, I lost my place.
109 years.
Yeah, it was 109 years ago today that Grand Central Station opened in New York City. Speaking in New York.
Grand Central Terminal back then.
I'm sorry, you're right. Terminal.
It was also on this date in 1925 that saw the serum run to Nome. That's when dog sleds reached Nome, Alaska, with the diphtheria serum. Of course, this was the inspiration for the famous Iditarod race. That always sounded like an Apple product, Iditarod.
Does it? Okay.
Starts with an I. It must be from Apple.
And Leonard Keeler administered polygraph tests to 2 murder suspects. The first time polygraph evidence was admitted in the U.S. courts on this date in, 1935.
There you go.
Hey, it probably looks very arcane, and it's got like electrodes.
A shock collar on it.
We're going to put this around your neck.
If you lie, we're just going to zap you.
Yeah, that's right.
We worked on a different premise back then. Fast forwarding a bit, 22 years ago today, the first digital cinema projection in Europe, technically in Paris, realized by Philippe Benin with the DLP cinema technology developed by Texas Instruments. Wow, we've only had digital films for 22 years? Seems like longer.
Yeah.
Okay, year 2000.
Yep, that's right.
Happy birthday goes on.
Digital DLP cinema. I guess for the projectors. Yeah, of course.
Happy birthday goes on this date to German astronomer Nicholas Reimers, born on this date in 1551.
And Julian Schotsky. So
Tchotchke loves Joni loves tchotchke.
Joni loves.
I don't like to talk about my tchotchkes.
That's right. Polish Russian mathematician, academic, born on the same date in 1842.
American railway magnate Frederick William Vanderbilt was born on this date in 1856.
And born February 2nd, 1861, American businessman and philanthropist, founded the Solomon R. Guggenheim Museum. Solomon R. Guggenheim.
Fred Flintstone.
That's funny how people name things after themselves.
Oh, just like this guy, American businessman, founded the Howard Johnson's Hotel and Restaurant branch. Howard Deering Johnson. He was born 125 years ago today.
And born February 2nd, 1929, American computer scientist and academic John Henry Holland.
Also turning 85 today is American comedian, actor, and activist Tom Smothers. Mom always did like you best.
Yeah. Also born on the same date in 1939, American chemist and inventor, and one of the founders of the modern plant biotechnology, Mary Dell Chilton.
We salute you, Mary Dell Chilton. Also turning 80 years today is English-American singer-songwriter and guitarist Graham Nash.
And American actress and producer Farrah Fawcett was born on 75 years ago today.
American actor and singer Brent Spiner. Where have I heard that name before? He was born today in 1949, whoever he is.
Yeah, he's got the spine for it. Also born on the same date in 1952, American computer scientist and academic Ralph Merkel.
And American actress, model, and businesswoman Christy Brinkley is 68 today. We also have some fun holidays for you that I borrowed from my other show.
Oh, yeah?
Wednesday, February 2nd is also World Wetlands Day, Day of the Crepe, Play Your Ukulele Day, National Heavenly Hash Day, and National Tater Tot Day. And don't forget, it's National Girls and Women in Sports Day. Oh. There you have it. The music is about to end, and then we'll get back to our listener birthdays. Hold on. This is just an awesome theme. We don't want to miss the high end. You see John Miller Jr.'s comment.
Let's see.
You don't have enough data about Brent Spiner?
Yeah, right.
Ba-doom.
Oh, here you go,
Okay.
by the way.
Birthdays. Let's finish the birthdays. Give them the respect they deserve. February 2nd is patron and friend of the show, Gary Lindros, a.k.a. Gary from Jacksonville, and Groundhog Day Rules. It's also Chuck Provenzano, a.k.a. Podlurker, a.k.a. Chuck's evil twin, and Oreo Cookie Monster. February 3rd, Ewan Campbell McGregor from Scotland. Chad W. Smith from Chattanooga, Tennessee is on the 7th, as is Brian the Big BS in PA, Williamsport, PA. Ooh, the letters again. Brad P. from NJ did that with his wife last week. And Jan Scott from Yorkshire, or Jan Scott. Did we ever get confirmation on which way it goes?
No. We've been saying it for like 8 years. I don't know.
8, more like 15.
I was going to say, whenever he started listening, I don't know.
February 8th.
Yeah.
Whenever we started the birthday calendar, that's where it got. And speaking of the birthday calendar, if you want to get on the birthday calendar, it's real easy. You go to chuckchat.com/birthday and fill in the form. We'll give you a shout out when your time of year rolls around. Thank you very much, Craig. That's the way it was on this day in history for February 2nd, 2022.
Yeah. Grand Central
Terminator.
Oh, here you go.
I'll be back. It's the same Groundhog Day still happening every day. Gary says, I love the Groundhog Day movie. Yeah, well, yeah, because you get your birthday every day. Although that would start to get old after a while. Opening presents, you know what's in them.
I'm turning on everything. There we go.
Yeah, please don't.
I'm getting click happy.
All right, we have some news. So let me find an appropriate random news clip. We'll take that one.
Good news, anyone?
Well, I would consider this fairly good news.
Yeah.
Thank you, autoplay video.
I know, man. I can't stand that.
Where's the volume? Die. Okay, anyway. No, all the way. Mute, please. The controls on this video are terrible. Okay. Yeah, you want to click on that when you go through the show notes over at chuckchat.com/Technorama episode 663. What it tells us is that Lockheed Martin, whom you heard from that video, is doing some research, and they are close to doing nuclear fusion. Now,
that's right.
For those that don't remember, nuclear fission is what we use in most nuclear power plants. And I don't know if it's a Brit thing or not, but he keeps saying nuclear, which is wrongity wrong. So it's not nuclear. That's a Homer Simpson thing. If you want to sound
aluminium,
like
they used aluminium to make this.
Well, they'll spell it the right way too. I will go with aluminium because it's cadmium and sodium, and why isn't aluminium? Okay, that one I'll bow to. Anyway, nuclear fusion. Well, let me back up. Nuclear fission is when you take a heavier element like uranium, and it naturally goes through radioactive decay. Well, we speed up the process a little bit by injecting another atomic element into it, and then it goes kabang. Okay, and then we control that explosion through control rods. And the problem is you end up with nuclear waste at the end that you have to somehow get rid of, because it's not always completely decayed when we're done with it in the nuclear power plants. It's not hot enough to boil the water and make steam and turn the turbines. Okay, but nuclear fusion is when you take lighter elements like hydrogen and fuse them together. This is the energy that drives the power of the sun. Only the sun has the advantage of being really big and heavy gravity to smash these things together. We mere mortals on the Earth are using high-speed magnets and whatnot. Well, they're trying to make, they're starting to make some breakthroughs to make some of these reactors, because there's no like radioactive byproducts from fusion.
Yeah. Yes.
So it gives off a lot more energy than fission.
It's even also safer because it won't blow up on you.
I don't know if it can't blow up. It's making a lot of energy, so something could happen.
Not like a standard reactor, but
not, no meltdowns. So,
and we've been talking about this several times over the last year. Seen several stories about them building this. So this is interesting. Now, the only problem with, and I don't know if you mentioned this, but is that they can do it, but they haven't gotten to that threshold where they're getting more power out of it than they're putting in. And now I think that's starting to turn around.
Getting closer. We're getting closer. Maybe in our lifetime. Because that would solve a
Actually,
lot of energy
we're
problems.
going to end up with little Stark reactors, like, we can just power everything.
They're hoping I think the article said that within 5 years, they're hoping to have this online and creating energy. So
Well, I
that
hope
would
that's
be
within
really
our
cool.
timeline, our lifeline.
Well, can't guarantee it. You don't know if you'll be alive tomorrow, but
What?
you could wake up dead.
Yeah.
Isn't that an oxymoron, waking up dead?
Yeah. Yeah, that's like, I forget what comedian started that. Hey, I get up in the morning and read the bits to see if I'm in it. It's probably like George Burns or something. I don't know.
Stephen Wright.
Maybe. Yeah, could be.
Okay. What else do you have? This one's a little dated. It's about a week and a half old, but still worthwhile.
Yeah, a little bit. So the Ingenuity helicopter was grounded because of dust storms on Mars, and it was causing some flight delays. And actually, this is the first time that NASA's had a flight delay due to inclement weather on another world.
Ladies and gentlemen, there will be a slight flight delay because there is a dust storm that's kicked up across the Greater Plains area.
You know what?
This
You're
is
starting
a
to sound
pilot.
like Stephen Wright. Right there.
I bought I bought a secondhand calendar. It has no 5s. Okay. Anyway, we're not gonna steal other people's comedy. We're gonna try and make our own.
Yeah. So anyway, it's because of the seasons changing on Mars, and yeah, apparently there's some dust storms, and so that's what was kind of holding it back. So the whole headline was that it was their first flight delay due to inclement weather on another world. I'm sure not to be the last.
Oh, Arthur, I hope they don't lose our luggage.
Yeah, somebody's luggage is on that little helicopter.
All right. From space delays, from flight delays in space to something that actually arrived on time in space. The James Webb Telescope did, in fact, arrive last week around January 24th.
Speaking of things that we've been talking about lately.
Yeah. It took about a month to get out to its place 1.5 million miles or 1 million miles from Earth at the L2 Lagrange point. And it's going to circle out there and do its thing, but it's still going to take about another 6 months to get everything online. They're going to get everything ready for they're going to do optical alignment, and you got to make sure this thing is ready to go. But the good news is, after $10 billion and about 25-year delay, it's in place and it's going to make history.
Well, I think in other news, and maybe I didn't include the story here, but they did actually take a picture from it already.
Well, they took a picture of it.
Of it? No, I mean of a star field from it, which I thought was
How could they do that if it's not aligned?
It didn't look. They were saying how great it was, but I would, to be honest with you, I thought, well, it looks a little. I hope they can focus a little bit better.
They did take a picture of it. And it looks like it's on a star field, and you have to zoom way in because the arrow that's pointing to the little dot is really tiny. I'm like, which one of these dots is it? And then you zoom in.
I'm sorry. That's what I was talking about. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's a picture of it, not from it.
There it is. We promise.
Yeah. Just like that.
Yeah. Do you need
the neat thing is it's the Lagrange point is like a gravity center, and it orbits around this thing. So as it goes around the sun with the Earth, it's kind of making this really weird wavy pattern up and down as it goes around. But that's okay, because it's okay to have some movement in your telescope, because then you can get what did this look like, in the spring versus in the fall, and do some really cool stuff with it.
They can make some of those stereoscopic pictures where you see the
or like when you're scrolling by some of those 3D quote unquote pictures on Facebook, and all of a sudden the camera moves in the foreground. No, we won't do that. All right, let's give a shout out to the chat room. We've got Windows 11.
Yeah, it was running Windows 11. All right.
It was probably running Windows 3.11 when they launched it. 25 when they finished the system architecture plan.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we got to build this. No
we're
upgrades.
missing a bunch of comments. I'm sorry. Well, I was
code freeze. What else do we have? Slightly heavier element than hydrogen. Might I recommend krypton? Sounds super. tough to fuse
Stick to your lane, Chuck. Why would it? I think I missed the timing on that one. Oh well. Sorry, I'll watch the chat closer.
Clinton's not allowed to make smart aleck comments without a podcast of his own, or topic is Trek.
He's got two.
Yeah. Watch out when these two half brains meet with Clinton's. We might have a full brain.
I bet Spotify sent him a cease and desist.
Yeah, we're pulling all our music from Spotify because we don't believe the misinformation. Did you hear about that? Not only did was it Graham Nash? No,
Neil Young.
Neil Young did it first, and now Joni Mitchell announced today. Interestingly enough, I'm going to jump ahead a little bit to the Hand Me the Remote section. There is a show on Netflix called Inventing David Geffen. Mm-hmm. And those were some of the early artists. It was Crosby, Stills, and Nash, Neil Young, Joni Mitchell, Jackson Browne. They were some of the first labels that came to Asylum Records when he formed that. And then also were, as Asylum got merged into Elektra and blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to ruin the whole thing, but they were some of his early advocates and early artists that were on board. So fun that they're still sticking together in solidarity. All right, chat room, John Miller Jr., Clinton Alvord, and I don't see anyone else, but people have been popping in and out of here, just not saying hello. So if you want to, you can join us Sunday nights at 9:30 Eastern time on Facebook and YouTube. You just go to our Technorama podcast page and you get notified when we set those things up. It'll say, sometimes Saturday or maybe early Sunday morning. It goes, hey, Technorama is going to have a show. And then you can put a reminder on there and there you go.
That's right.
So is it remember when time now?
Yes.
Okay. Here we go.
You remembered.
Try and hit the button from here.
Oh, click. I did forget this one.
There we go. Yeah. Craig's got one job. He's slowly learning it.
I'm getting there.
It's harder than it looks, isn't it, when you're not a dedicated video person?
Well, I did change my mouse so that I can hit the two buttons that go between the chat and the banners.
That's not a mouse. All right.
Yeah.
The 1950s. I love the music. It goes right with this. 1950s Kitchen of the Future.
Yeah.
This is one of those, look at all the handy conveniences you get. What was your favorite out of this thing?
Probably, let's see, there were some bunch of good ones in there. Probably the Pelican with the cigarettes.
Yep. That's the winner. So they start this video and this lady takes her cigarette that's half smoked and sets it on the bill of this pelican, this little ceramic pelican, about the size of a teapot.
With its mouth open.
And it's an ashtray. And then somehow magically later in the video says, she's left her cigarette burning, but no worries of a fire hazard. And the pelican tips up its head and swallows the cigarette. And all I can picture is one of those animals from the Flintstones going, it's a living.
That's right. That's right. They had not a portable, but they had a donut maker in the kitchen. There's the pelican. Oh, and I don't know if it's the offensive paper towel holder.
Oh yes, the Aunt Jemima paper towel holder.
Yeah, I was like, whoa.
Hey, in the 50s, everybody wanted one.
Yeah, actually, the little plate with the suckers where you could put your chicken on it.
That makes sense, and I understand you can still buy something like that. So it's got it's got suction cups on the bottom. It's this little oval thing, just about the size of the chicken. Now, chickens were smaller in the 50s. And the bottom has suction cups on it, so it sticks to the ceramic plate. And on the top, it's got like 4 nails sticking up. So you nail the chicken to the board. And what did they say? Something like, this poultry is not going to go slipping off the plate into someone's lap. Well, there's a great visual. Does this happen often to you?
I guess that messes with the Dick Van Dyke Show. Yeah.
They had some other things like a towel rack. Later there was a second video in there with a different lady, but similar concept of all these modern conveniences. And they had a phone with one of those shoulder holders on the handle. It's like, wow, no hands. Like, yeah, I had one of those when I worked the help desk.
Yeah. Actually, I said that to Kim. I was like, well, that actually was a thing. I think it was, well,
Still
everybody,
hurt your neck.
you could get it. Yeah, you could get them for all kinds of places, but I just remember seeing them on like, what was that? The Merlin. Was it the Merlin system from AT&T? Is that right?
Amy's comment straight out of Monty Python. The only reason the chicken was on the platter was that it became nailed there. This is a dead chicken.
That's funny.
It has ceased to be. It is no more. It is dinner for 4. Okay.
Yeah, the
We've had our fun
Merlin
with
phone system. That was it. Merlin. And it had, I remember seeing that for the first time there. And then everybody had those little attachments where they could just stick
Well,
it on
they'd
their
get you one of
shoulder.
those for the help desk because they were too cheap to buy the Plantronics headphones.
Yeah. Right.
Hey, come on. Let's do this right. Oh yeah, that one went right over the home plate, and I hit it. Thank you, Amy.
That's funny. Anyway, that was a fun video. I bet there's a bunch of those on YouTube. Kitchens of the Future or Homes of the Future.
It wasn't even the future. It was just sort of current modern conveniences.
Oh, the
like
broiler on the.
they had the oven mitts. Like oven mitts? Really? Oven mitts weren't a thing before then?
They just kind of used towels, I guess, or the
Well,
broiler.
hot
where
pads?
It came up. She raised it up, and it came up the top of the stove top, and then she
That
put the
would
steaks
be
on
really nice.
it. And those were some nice steaks too.
I think they
That's
said
right.
chops.
Those were
Yeah.
they were huge, whatever they were.
Back in the day when you could smoke and eat big steaks.
Yeah, smoke while you're making the steaks. Just smoke over it.
That's where you get smoked steaks from.
Oh, I forgot to bring my pelican over here.
Strange bird is the pelican. His beak can hold more than his belly can. That's my poetry for the day. All right, let's move on to the next one about NASA. Remember the Space Shuttle, Craig?
I know. I got a picture of the Space Shuttle right behind me.
30-year mission ended about 11 years ago, almost 11 years ago. Well, there was an article in the aviationgeekclub.com where they asked some of the cleaning crew, they said, was it true that the Space Shuttle smelled really awful when the ground crews got aboard after a flight to clean and unload? I thought, where's this going? Did they not shower or something? Was like just a locker room in there?
Well,
Actually,
yeah.
not so much that, but they said, while you're in orbit, you've got a vacuum so you can vent the air, the bad smells and whatnot away. But once they come in for landing and then they land and then it sits on the tarmac for, an hour or so before the cleaning crew gets on board, a week's worth of garbage doesn't smell so good.
Yeah.
And
especially when they landed in Edwards Air Force Base in California in the desert, it's hot. Imagine it's hot.
It says after landing, the operating capacity of the environmental control system was somewhat reduced by virtue of the vehicle no longer being in a vacuum. This reduced the effectiveness of the conditioning and odor removal of cabin air. All, quote, fresh food and wet trash stored in the vehicle, as well as other things, began to get pretty rank after a while. In the cases that I'm aware, the vehicle was completely powered down somewhere between 45 minutes and 1 hour after landing due to exhaustion of the onboard coolant working fluid, ammonia. The environmental system was run until ammonia was depleted. It did not interfere with the ability to detect hydrazine, as this detection was inserting a probe up into the throat of each thruster. That sounds rather personal.
Right.
They get more into the ammonia boiler and whatnot. The stagnant air in the crew module was in really bad shape before very long. Yeah, I don't think I want to be the cleanup crew for the shuttle.
When I saw this the title of this article, I went, "Oh, this is perfect for us." But before reading anything, I thought that remember we heard some astronauts describe what space smells like. What it smelled like burnt steak, and I thought maybe some of that smell just kind of was there, in the cargo bays and everything. So it make that smell. That's what I thought before I read anything.
That's what Vader smelled like.
Burnt steak
Oh, so-
wrapped in bacon.
Right. Burnt leathery bacon. Thank you, Robot Chicken. It's the
Yes.
second Robot Chicken reference this week. Lisa had one earlier.
Oh good.
All right. And since we're on the thank yous, let's do a thank you to our patrons. That would be this button down here. Well, it's supposed to sound like that and then go like this. Okay, there we go.
Look. I got the banner.
Yeah, Craig's got the title up already. This show is brought to you by our wonderful patrons. They support this show through kind, generous donations. And in return, we give them a special show and a shout out on this episode, including Alexis Duran, Amber Elstad, Amy Bowen, who's in the chat with us tonight. Thank you very much. Thank you to Abner Braverman, Ben Vaughn, Brian Brown, Chris MC, Dandy Mancoyer, Dean Jensen, Denise Inglis, Gary Lindros, happy birthday, Gary, again, John Clifford, John Noble. Oh, yeah, he's showing up on Star Trek Prodigy as the Diviner.
Oh, yeah,
Yorga
that's right.
Shirawan, Kyle Nishioka, Leon, Mark Kilfoyle, Mike Wills, Chris Martinez, Saturday Morning Media, Stephen Weshy, Steve Therian, Steve Cody, and Steve London. These 24 people really make this show possible. We have expenses like streaming and hosting and domain registration and goodness
Food.
knows what else they're going to do to us in the
food.
future.
Yeah.
Organ transplants. If you want to be part of this wonderful crew and help support the podcast, we know you've been listening for a while and you're going, oh, there might be something here, or at least maybe they'll get something if we give them a few bucks. Right. Patreon.com/Technorama podcast is where you can go to help us out. Be part of this special crew. Get us back up to that magic number of 28 so Craig can go crazy with his OCD on that table again.
That's right.
All right. Yeah. We good? Is it time to talk about shows?
Hold on a second. Let's see. I was going to catch up on a few comments here.
It's time for the pelican on top of your TV to explode. No, that's a penguin. What's on the telly? It looks like a penguin. Since the planet Uranus is in our in the galaxy, I'm going to guess not doing any Uranus jokes tonight.
Right.
Okay. Do we have? There we go. We need something shorter. CBS has the ding, 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 ding. NBC has doom, boom, boom. And Netflix just has a boom.
Yeah. With a big N flying in your face.
We can shorten something up like that. Anyway, pass me the remote. I've got a couple on here. We'll alternate, but I think I already mentioned American Masters Inventing David Geffen. So yes. I'll just rate that right now. Loved it. It was a single episode. I think it was like an hour and a half, hour 45, something like that. Fairly long, but really fun to watch his journey. He's still alive, although he looks great for however old he is. I figured he's at least in his mid 70s to maybe 80, but boy, howdy, he looks like he's about 60. Dude, guy's doing great.
Let's see real quick. He's 78. Actually, he does look pretty good.
Yeah, and I think this was filmed pre-COVID, so it's at least 4 years old. Okay. So, in fact, I think it might be right after he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It might even be 8 or 9 years old. So, guy looks great. He's doing good. Did a lot of stuff. Not an easy guy to get along with. I love the show. Great insight. Clive, who's the other one? There's another show just like this. It keeps popping up in my face.
Another show?
He was like the CEO of Sony and media entertainment about the same time in the 70s.
Yeah.
Not Clive Jevons. Clive. Anyway, can't remember, but there's another one. So I give this just for that historical educational docuseries, give it a 9. I liked it.
Really? Okay.
I liked it. Well done. Okay. You got one?
I do. And this is really part of a season because they split it up. So you would stay with
Netflix, it's not the whole season?
No, it's not.
Okay, tell the listener what it is.
All right, so first off, they give us 7 episodes.
You didn't say the title yet.
I know, it's Ozark. I'm getting ready.
Okay, good.
Yeah, Ozark is it's got Jason Bateman in it and Laura Linney, and they their family moved to the Ozarks, and they start working on a scheme to make money, and
Well, they
they
wanted
went,
they got there because they had a scheme going in Chicago, but he wanted to get away from that.
yes, yeah, and it turned into a big drug thing, and with the cartel, it's pretty big. But season 4, of course, this is the last season, so they're really ramping things up. And oh my gosh, I have to say, Julia Garner, who
Mhm.
plays Ruth on that show, she's already got 2 Emmys for this show,
She
and
does a great job.
she took it even a step further
Oh, wow.
on this last season, especially that last episode. Uh, I mean, I'm not gonna give anything away because it just
No,
came
please
out. But
don't, because this is one of those Donna and Chuck shows that we watch
yeah,
together. We haven't started season 4 yet, and now you're telling me it's not even all of season 4.
no, it's not.
Oh!
But I'm gonna tell you, when you get to when you get to episode 7, it'll be like, oh my god, pulling your hair out. She nailed it, and I think she's really the star of this thing. Because, yeah. So I'm not going to spoil anything, but suffice it to say that it was good. It's a really good season, and it's really giving Breaking Bad a run of its for its money, I think.
Yep, similar
Breaking
kind of
Bad,
vibe.
Breaking Bad. It's like almost every episode had tension and built on that every week. This one, early on, it wasn't quite that tense, but it's really worked up into it. And
Well,
it's
and you've got
fantastic.
this secret that Dad is keeping, and then he starts to like Breaking Bad. The whole family gets involved, and
Yeah.
the more people that get involved, the scarier it gets.
Oh yeah, well, Breaking Bad. I think I binged like first season or two, and I told Kim, "You got to watch this. You got to watch this. You got to watch this." She finally said, "Okay, let's watch it." So I ended up having to rewatch those seasons with her because, and I didn't have any problem with that because it was really good, And I finally got to the place where I was caught up, and oh my gosh, Breaking Bad was awesome. But this is I'm gonna say it's a close second, but it has some glimpses of being on par with Breaking Bad.
All right, I got another one for you from Netflix. This one's called "We Are the Champions," season 1, and it has nothing to do with Queen. Okay,
Yeah,
just take that off the
right.
table. This is about strange and interesting competitions around the world, and
Oh,
some of
I think
them
I've
you
seen
look and
this.
go, "That's a thing." Okay, the first one's titled "Cheese Rolling."
Yeah.
The competition isn't so much about the cheese rolling; it's about getting down Cooper's Hill the fastest. It's in Gloucester in the UK, and
Hmm.
yes, they roll a wheel of cheese down the hill, and you're supposed to chase after it. But most of this is
Yes.
falling down a hill like a rag doll and seeing if you can get up and run a little bit before you fall down like a rag doll again. And they do a great job profiling the contestants building up to the competition. So one's on cheese rolling, one is on hairdressing, one is on dog dancing, one is on spicy chili eating
Hey,
competition.
speaking of which,
Yes,
did something not ring a bell? I don't know that it would actually think about it. The chili eating contest.
the Carolina Reaper.
Yes,
What
the
about it?
the guy that owns a store, that Pucker Butt, lives not
Yes.
far from me, and the Fort Mill where this contest was at is like about 15 minutes from me. This
Oh,
was
cool.
It's like in the town next over. So when I was
So
watching it, I went, "Whoa, they're in Fort Mill." I had no idea that happened. Otherwise, I would have gone to it. But yeah,
I
this
don't know if they
happened.
had one in 2020 or 2021.
No,
So these were filmed pre-COVID,
hey,
and
I don't think COVID could actually stand a chance against those peppers that they were.
well, the funny thing is the way they did that particular one, there are 13 peppers that the contestants have to go through,
Hmm.
and they gradually get hotter and hotter and hotter.
Yes,
And the Carolina Reaper is generally considered by most people as, the hottest one. To give you a hint, they
it's the
measure
record.
these
It's got the
in
record.
Scoville units, and your average
Hmm.
jalapeno is about 3,000. The Carolina Reaper is like 1.5 million.
Yeah,
But he's been genetically engineering hotter peppers. So out of the 13 stages these contestants went through, the Reaper came out in the 6th round. So they
yeah,
were going up from there. It
yeah. Then
was
they started. Then there was a yeah. Then they broke out some mixes
yeah,
to
hybrids like the Reapanero. I love
Yes.
this show not just from the educational standpoint, going, never heard of dog dancing. This is kind of fascinating. Not that I'm going to take it up and try and beat the Russian team, but they got me invested in these characters whom I had no previous knowledge about them, and they make you feel like a yo-yo competition. For example, there was one guy who was retiring, and this was his last yo-yo competition. It was 2019 because they had a hashtag on the wall that said WWUYYC or something 19, and by the end, I'm kind of emotional from the competition and the winners. I'm going, oh, I'm so proud. Why? What the hell's wrong with me?
You know,
I
right?
love this show because the narration and the music and the buildup and the profiles that they have of these people is just wonderful. This is truly a feel good show, and yet you're drawn into this thing.
Or people are taking pride. You're seeing people take pride in their place and how they place in these
the frog jumping one. Yeah, the guy who's been in the frog jumping competition for 37 years and he hasn't won. Is like, oh, maybe next year. Like, you're rooting for the underdog.
Yeah, I mean they're taking pride in their position and at first you're like, what? This is weird. And then when you get into it, you're like, oh, they're really taking pride in this. And
yeah,
you kind of get drawn in as well. Yeah.
I love this show. This is one of the few that I'm going to give it a solid 10. It's just, if they came out with another 6 tomorrow, I would watch them all right away. It's just a whole lot of fun.
I didn't rate Ozark. I would say that so far it's been a 10 this last season.
My last one comes from the docuseries kind of stuff. It's called Age of Samurai Battle for Japan. Now, I didn't know much about the samurai other than they're old Japanese warriors, but I had no concept of what time frame they were in, what came before them, why there were so many samurai, what this led into, what the family names were, etc. They did a great job of outlining, here's the primary character. He comes in, he's kind of a radical. I wish I could remember all the names right now. I had them in my head. And then they say, okay, these were his generals and he won his first battle and They kind of take you through this in I want to say 4-part series, 6-part series, whatever it was. And really educational and made you understand what the culture was that they were operating within. And then after they got Japan all unified in the early 1600s, I think it was, what do you do with all these warriors?
Oh, yeah.
Well, now that Japan is unified, let's go conquer China. But they had to go through Korea, and that wasn't anything good. No. And they ran into the same thing that they did with Hitler in World War II, where nobody wanted to bring them bad news. So, the leaders going, hey, we're doing a great job because nobody's telling me we're losing. Because if they tell me we're losing, I'm going to kill them. So, like that just sets you up for failure. Yeah. So I enjoy this very much. I'm going to give this a solid 9. Okay. It's very well done. The characters, they bring it to life. They do great jobs on the maps. The facts, they bring in the historians who do, the talking head narration for a while. They say after, when Tokugawa got in and did this and went here and like, oh, okay. It does take a little bit of, you got to focus on this because they're introducing a lot of names and succession. And sometimes they backtrack. They're like, these 3 guys were off battling this battle because they wanted to support the son of the previous leaders. Like, oh, we haven't heard about him in like 45 minutes. Like, oh, that's why they were fighting that battle.
And then, of course, a couple of average Americans like you and I, it's like the Japanese names are, they mention, oh, and by the way, he came back.
You have to focus. But they do a great job on differentiating the characters' faces and costumes. So you can clearly go, oh, yeah, that's, that's this particular character. Yeah, even if you can't grasp the names, they repeat them well enough that you will eventually catch on and go, yeah, that's who it was. So they did a great job. Tokugawa, that's what it was. I'm trying to remember the first guy. Tokugawa's he was actually an original enemy of the first guy who went out and Uda, Odo.
Yodo,
Okay, no,
Yoda.
I had it just before the show
Grogu?
started, but it's Roku.
Grogu. Oh, here you go.
All right.
I think John Miller Jr.'s got the right idea.
Spicy peppers are a possible fusion material.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's it. Oda
Wow.
Nobunaga. Amy's
Amy,
got
wow.
it. Amy's on fire. She's not even Wikipediaing this. She's just typing it in. Boom, boom,
Scaring
boom.
me. She's scaring me now.
Yeah, he was a rebel for his time, but he was the one who sort of broke out of this territorial feudalism. Anyway, I'm not going to ruin the whole show but it was a very educational thing to go through. Thank you, Amy. All right. Geek Library, I think, is next.
Yeah.
And then we're wrapping it up.
Something we've already touched on.
She said, some things are still in my head from my college anime days.
Oh, wow.
Wow. You studied it more
That's in
than
your
my
head?
one watching for the.
That rattles around your head with free rent? Wow.
Hey, I got like mathematical algorithms, mathematician names that no one will ever remember.
Hey, I've got Star Wars characters that nobody remembers rolling around in mine.
Do you remember De Morgan's theorem? It's just odd crap like that.
Yeah,
So
right.
yeah, we all have our specialties. That's why we're geeks.
Yeah.
Okay. Our Geek Library. I almost went right into the question of the week.
Yeah. Which is what we really talked about earlier. It was the picture
Yes,
of
that
the
little
James
photo
Webb.
of the. See that dot? See, zoom way in. So if you
Yeah.
want to see where the James Webb Telescope is or was when they took this picture, you can certainly go to the show notes, chuckchat.com/Technorama. Look for episode 663. Click on the link in the Geek Library, and you will see this from futurism.com if you haven't seen it already.
I think it's funny. There's a tweet and it has the picture with the arrow, but it's like an animated GIF and it's obviously not moving. That's why I don't understand that. Oh, wait, it is moving. I'm sorry. You can barely see the dot. You can see it moving from one diagonal a little bit. Huh.
All right, a question of the week for you this week that you can think about all week till we get it on social media is, what is your comfort show you rewatch when you're sad or sick?
Star Trek. I would say probably TNG, but really any of them.
I always like to have. It doesn't matter whether
Okay,
I'm sad or sick. It's just if there's
for you.
if I can't.
Hold on a second.
Okay.
Let me guess for you. Alf.
No, that would probably be Crazy Joe.
No. What was that
I
one?
watched
Small Wonders.
Technorama.
Small Wonder.
Technorama is my comfort show.
That's right.
Except I heard all that stuff before, watched it all before.
By the way,
I've lived it all before. I've got the 16 compass points stuck in my head for life. Yeah, 16. So in between north and east, there's northeast. In
That's
between northeast and east, there's east-northeast. But the other way around is north-northeast. So if you're going around counterclockwise, it'd be north, north-northeast, northeast, east, northeast, east. And then you do the same kind of things you go around. Knight Rider for John Miller Jr.
Actually, I would say for me, Star Trek or something like that, or a go-to is Andy Griffith's show.
Lord of the Rings. Be another one.
Yeah. Oh,
the kids would do Harry Potter.
Speaking of which, they had a little teaser that came out for the show coming up on Amazon, The Rings of Power, the Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
Mentions it to see that. It's coming up.
Amy says TNG all the way.
Jingle bells, TNG all the way.
Jingle bells, Riker smells.
Picard laid an egg. I don't know. That was Batman. Yeah.
Enterprise lost a nacelle and never mind.
And Q got away. Hey.
You might have something there, Craig. You might. Your regular Tom Smith. Wait till next Dragon Con.
Yeah.
All right. That brings us to the end. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, Craig, for pulling these stories together. I'm going to play our outro music if I can find it in there. There it is. And we will let you know how to get in touch with us. You can call the listener line like our accidental wrong number did, or Chocolate Lightning. Can't wait for his next album to come out. Wait, he said formerly known as Chocolate Lightning, but put up that phone number contact information for us, Craig. 707-530-2428 is where you can reach us, or email us, technorama@chuckchat.com. Love to hear from you. And if you can't find that, you can certainly find us by searching for Technorama Podcast pretty much anywhere on the internet. It'll bring up our Facebook page, our Twitter, our YouTube, our website.
We're everywhere. We're omnipresent.
Find us on Spotify till we decide to pull it like other famous artists do.
Right.
Until next time, give us a binary high five, Craig.
All right. 101.
Bye, everybody.
I'm not sure if this is one. That's my interpretive dance for 101.
Your hand signals for 101.
That's right.
The zero is in the middle.
That's right.
Read between the lines.
Uh-huh.
Or it's your cornholio.
Oh, Matt Baum, 101.
Hey, Matt. Welcome to the party. Unfortunately, the party's ending. Bye-bye and bye bonds.
Are you consuming edibles? They're not legal in South Carolina.
I couldn't tell you what's legal in Arizona, besides an open carry law. All righty. That takes care of the recording part of the audio program. We are going to end our video live stream. Thank you for hanging out with us. We will see you again here next Sunday. Thank you for all the chit chat. The comments were wonderful. Remembering the Japanese names. Good
Amy,
stuff.
wow. Hey, that reminds me, don't get into a trivia contest with Amy about Japanese lore.
Yeah, Japanese shoguns. Samurai, sorry. Shoguns came later.
Yeah.
Tokugawa was the one who ushered in the era of the shogun. Anyway, thank you very much, everybody, and we will talk to you again later. Click the button that says end broadcast. Here we go. Bye.
Bye.